There hasn't been an anime since Attack on Titan that has jumped straight to the list of anime instant classics like Demon Slayer has. While every aspect of the new series deserves to be focused on, today we're going to focus on the most powerful of the legendary and mysterious Hashira. In episode 21 of the anime, we're finally introduced to the legendary Hashira, the best of the Demon Slayers. These guys are the demon-slaying all-stars who are pivotal in the fight against pesky Demon King Muzan. Of those all-stars, there is one who is agreed to be the true MVP, Gyome Himejima, the Stone Pillar. Unlike other Hashira, Gyome doesn't brag about his own skills quite as much. Of course, you really can't compete in terms of ego when you're on a team with Tengan and Kyojuro. For them, style is just another form they've mastered. Gyome, in contrast, is something of a gentler soul. He's often overcome by emotion and is known to shed a tear or two at the drop of a hat. Don't let that fool you, though. When it's time to get to work slaying some demon heads, Gyome is the best in the biz. As the Stone Pillar, Gyome has mastered 5 different styles of stone breathing. He wields an axe and iron ball combo that's the deadliest in the gang. The upper smash is my personal favorite, as it's basically a pincer move with both weapons. All of this is made even more impressive by the fact that Gyome has been blind since childhood. He has gained the ability to sense his enemies in his mind in order to attack them. Of course, he's also helped out by being taller than a mid-size SUV. That alone has probably helped a lot in his demon-slaying career. There is always at least one character in an anime who manages to just be cooler than everyone else. That Levi Ackerman from Attack on Titan character who walks the walk and talks the talk. That's who Tomioka, the Water Pillar, is for Demon Slayer. We meet him in the first episode of the series when his normal demon-slaying duties are interrupted by Tanjiro and Nezuko. He takes them both out with almost no effort, but is impressed with Tanjiro's selflessness and skill. Not only that, but Nezuko shows him that she's more than just a demon, causing him to spare her life. He saves them both later on in the series, while also proving just how incredibly powerful he is. Tanjiro and Nezuko gain a lot of skill over the first season that is put to the test when they face Rui. Despite all their skill, they find themselves at the mercy of the 12th Kizuki, only for Giyu to just walk in and win the whole thing with one move. Show off. As the Water Pillar, Giyu has mastered all of the water-breathing techniques, even adding one of his own. This form, the Dead Calm, was the one used to dispatch Rui like a boss. The anime only scratched the surface of what Giyu is capable of. Look forward to seeing more of Giyu's incredible power and even more incredible attitude as the series progresses. Tokiko shows himself to be the team airhead pretty much immediately. He's constantly losing track of his train of thought and often seems disinterested in the world around him. That hasn't slowed him down a bit though, because at age 14, he's the Mist Pillar of the Hashira. This was made clear to Tanjiro in episode 23 when he was taken down by a couple of spare stones that were lying around. Most kids at 14 like to skip stones for fun. He likes to skip them to make people shut up. If you don't think that's impressive, Tokito becomes a Hashira after only a few months of training. That's like if, at the end of episode 2, Tanjiro was suddenly one of the greatest swordsmen in the world. In the Demon Slayer world, he's like the Mozart of the sword. He is a true prodigy. Mist breathing has 7 forms that are all very precise and very deadly. There are other warriors who like to dance around it more, but Tokito just likes to go straight for the head. He would have done very well against Thanos. As far as his flighty demeanor goes, that will be explained when the anime gets to his tragic backstory. Rest assured, if you've been through what he has, you'd be forgiven for being a bit aloof. SuneMe is the Hashira that they invite to battle, but not to dinner parties. He's basically like Bakugo from My Hero Academia, but somehow more abrasive. The two even go to the same anime barber, evidently. Tanjiro and SuneMe become adversaries within only a few moments of meeting. Tanjiro was ready to headbutt him faster than he was the first demon he went up against that wasn't his sister. That is a special kind of hate. Like the other Hashira, his attitude comes from the pain he suffered earlier in his life. This is pretty evident from the scars that cover his body and that semi-permanent crazy look in his eyes. Deep within that crude exterior lies a person who does genuinely care about others. Just as long as they aren't demons. SuneMe may not be the biggest fan of Tanjiro and Nezuko, but that doesn't mean anything when it's time to hunt some demons. He has absolutely no qualms about going all out against the man-eating monsters. As a master of wind breathing, SuneMe has access to 9 styles that are as powerful as gale force winds. If he was able to utilize the calm demeanors of some of the other Hashira, he'd probably be an even greater force to be reckoned with. His real wind skill is pretty much pushing everyone around him away with the force of a hurricane. It seems pretty obvious that he loves his brother Genya, but is mean to him on purpose to send him away. Apparently, he's a big fan of White Fang. Get out of here, Genya! Can't you see I don't want you anymore? Will SuneMe ever truly accept Tanjiro and Nezuko? Will he ever make peace with Genya? Well, you're just gonna have to watch and find out. Every anime needs that one teacher character who you know used to be the baddest of the bad in their day. Naruto has Kakashi. Dragon Ball has Master Roshi. For Demon Slayer, that character is Sakonji. It is no small feat in Demon Slayer that Sakonji lived long enough to teach. If you look around, you don't see that many Slayers his age. That alone should tell you that he is a force to be reckoned with. Not only that, but he managed to train both Tanjiro and Gyu into great warriors. The same can't really be said for Sabito and Makamo. Ooh, that joke felt wrong. Too soon? Like Gyu, Sakonji was the water pillar. He was so skilled in it that he is now the cultivator of the water-breathing technique. His training style for the next generations is to actively try and get your pupil to expire in an extremely bloody fashion. Seriously, if he was a high school teacher, you'd basically have to fight a bear in order to get your diploma. You can't really knock it though, because it works. Tell me you didn't get choked up when he actually held Tanjiro and Nezuko. He was just so proud. Am I the only one who always thinks of Usopp's Sogeking mask from One Piece every time I see Sakonji's long nose mask? My mind goes right there every time. Obon, the snake pillar, falls in that Shino from Naruto category of characters who just appear pretty strange. That doesn't really get better the more you get to know him. Of all the Hashira, Obon is the least forgiving. He will actively criticize you if you get hurt in battle, literally adding insult to injury. You find out later that this actually comes from a place of true self-loathing, but that's not much of an excuse. Still, Obon puts his Nichiren where his mouth is in terms of battle. He's the fighter who will keep going long after they should have given up. That sense of determination alone is enough to make the difference in a long showdown with a powerful demon. His serpent breathing style is incredibly efficient. His style might as well be called decapitation for how he fights. The main weakness he has is his extremely apparent crush on Mitsuri. Although, who doesn't have a crush on her? She's the literal Hashira of love. Kyojuro seems like the Hashira I would like the most in real life. Unlike the other battle-scarred and hardened Hashira, Kyojuro is relentlessly positive. He is noble, kind, and incredibly supportive, though he needs to do something about those monstrous eyebrows. The hero is a master of the flame-breathing style. While others like Tanjiro come to demon slaying after tragedy strikes, Kyojuro was always going to be a warrior. The Rengoku family has been training in the fire-breathing style for generations. It's no wonder that Kyojuro became a Hashira. They probably put a little Nichiren rattle in the crib with him when he was a baby. The flame-breathing style would be perfect for Kyojuro even if he wasn't trained in it all his life. It's boisterous and bold with heavy slashes and incredible power. Kyojuro might not quite be on Gyu's level, but he is still a cunning and brave warrior worthy of being a Hashira. If you really want to see him in action, the wait isn't very long. The Demon Slayer movie is set to adapt the Mugen train arc from the manga. I won't tell you what happens, but be prepared to see quite a lot of Kyojuro. No one is as big of a fan of Tengen Uzui as Tengen Uzui. It is not enough for him to be a master demon slayer, he has to do it as stylishly as possible. This over-the-top demeanor doesn't detract from his skill though. He was originally a ninja before becoming a demon slayer. Though how someone as boisterous as Tengen could stand at being a master of stealth and patience is certainly a question worth pondering. His skills in this area have allowed him to create battle strategies all his own. He can analyze the rhythms of his enemies' movements just through sound alone, making him a much greater warrior. Sound breathing is a technique that only Tengen has ever used. Other Hashira have mastered and improved upon their forms, but he's the one who invented his own. That should get him some extra points. His ninja training also supplies him with bombs that only add to his skill as a master swordsman. Just because Tengen is played for laughs a lot of the time, don't go thinking he's a comic relief character. No spoilers, but things get pretty real for everyone in Demon Slayer, and he is no exception. Shinobu Kocho may not be the #1 most powerful Hashira, but for many fans out there, she is the #1 crush. Her more down-to-earth attitude stands in stark contrast to Mitsuri's incredibly upbeat one. This has led to a whole other debate on the internet that we won't even get into. That being said, she's one of the more complex characters in the series once you get to know more about her. Her initial laid-back attitude occasionally gives way to some moments of true darkness and anger. Like all Hashira, the demon slaying is personal for her in ways that drive her to become greater. Unlike many of the others, she displays a tremendous amount of doubt in her abilities at times. In fact, she doesn't possess the strength to actually remove their heads. She seems very aware that she is not among the most powerful of the Hashira and has some deep self-hatred for this. She shouldn't though, because as a master of insect breathing, she is very deadly. Instead of decapitations, she utilizes unique poisons to attack her enemies with. Beyond her swordsmanship, she frequently proves her worth by devising poisons and strategies that are essential to taking out more powerful demons. She may not be the most powerful Hashira, but she may very well be the most resourceful. Well, there you have it. The best of the demon-slaying Hashira. Which one of them is your favorite? What do you think will happen when next we see them? If you like this Demon Slayer content and want more, then be sure to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment or two. See you next time!